his computer there. Okay. All right. So we have about a minute and a half and we're going to get started. The last whole previous getting into the meeting, I'm just going to delete it just to see you guys now so no one can see my craziness. I'm really happy to see more people on here. I posted a picture of a Zoom from last year to show you guys how committed and focused you all were to the meetings. And actually, what was ironic about it is my sister just said, oh, you feel like this time always gets like that. This came up on my Facebook memories from 3 years ago, this same time. Oh, hold on. Something just happened on my phone. There we go. My Canva just popped up. So really think about all those people that were on here. It was the same time, just 3 years ago. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I only take on usually 5 to 8 new people every session. And they're in there getting to know me meetings, right? So they don't come into these meetings yet. This one they could. So, but everybody else has been staying on and continuing on. So they're like, oh, I've already done it. I've been in her meetings for 3 years. Hence this. So now as people are progressively staying on, they don't feel like they have to come to the meetings. But if you're an alcoholic and you don't go to the meetings, you could slide back. And it's the same thing with these meetings. And honestly, it reinforces it for me as well. You know, I always talk about how I walk the walk. I do exactly what you guys do. And I always tell you guys how I slide back a lot and, you know, we fall into our own routines and all this stuff and holidays and vacations and everything. And I don't know if you remember back in January, I said, I'm doing the program with you guys. And I said it again the next session. And I said it again for this coming session. Since January, I've lost 11 pounds. Who even knew I had 11 pounds to lose? I didn't realize it. But I went to the doctor yesterday and I got on the scale and she's like, you lost 11 pounds. I'm like, that's impossible. Because I don't go on the scale at home anymore. And she's like, yeah, look, you were here in January 11th, and I lost 11 pounds. So then I got on my mind body. We have mind body at Orange Theory, but I got on the in body at Orange Theory, and my muscle back in January, or my body fat, let's go with that. My body fat in January had gone to 20.3. And I don't know, I told you guys 100 million times, my body fat comfort is between like 17 and 19. It's pretty big range. But when I hit 20, that's when I know, and that's when I knew I had to get on this with you guys. And I did my body fat yesterday when I got back from the doctor, because I won't get on there unless I know that I did well. And my body fat went from 20.3 to 17.4. So yeah, I lost 11 pounds. A lot of it probably was muscle too, which I didn't look at yet because I haven't been lifting as much and consistently as I was because I'm teaching so many fitness classes now. But if you stick to the program, it works. I'm living proof of it. And you guys are all living proof of it when you stick to it. And part of the program is this right here. This grounds me. This centers me. I mean, I love what it does for you guys, but I look forward to this every single week. And when I go through my notes, I'm like, oh my God, I totally forgot. We don't even talk about that anymore. Or yeah, I need to talk about that again. So going into Shred into Summer, I want you guys to commit as much as you can to being on these meetings, to showing up. Because when you show up, that's when you start to see results. And part of my thing today is, I don't want to get into it really quick. I don't want to start talking about it yet, but is, hold on, I'm going to put my notes just so I mark it off. It's just how you can be successful. That's what I'm going to say. So being successful means so many things to so many different people. It might mean drinking your water. It might mean getting your steps in. It might mean lifting. It might mean tracking all your proteins and knowing that you got all your fiber in and feeling good, having more energy, being successful and committing and is totally different for everyone. And I don't want you to compare yourself to anyone in the group, right? We all are on different journeys. Okay. So first thing I want to talk about is the session. We started last week. We go right into 4th of July, right? We cover 4th of July with this session. So we have to stay focused and committed, even for 4th of July. And we're going to talk about that. We talk about it every holiday. When we get closer to it, our meeting we will talk about that. We're also going to have a meeting about camping, how to stay focused when you're camping. Things you can do while you're camping to stay committed, consistent. And that's part of how you get successful. And I'm going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, I have a lot of different new topics coming up for this new session. So be present, come to the meetings. If you watch them on record, I want you to message me and let me know that you watched them on record. Because if you don't come to the meetings and you watch them on the record, it's almost as good as being live, but you're just not live, right? And I ordered some more new Shred Tribe goodies. And if you consistently come on the meetings every week, or you message me every single week and tell me you watched them on record or we're live, you will get something at the end of the session for being consistent, for showing up. Also, we are having a prize. It is a $100 cash prize for the person that loses the most. Now, not everybody has access to body fats, right? To getting their body fat done. So it's that you weighed in last week, and it's your weigh-in at the end of this 8 weeks, percentage of loss. So it's fair to everyone, whether you have to lose 5 pounds or whether you have to lose 50 pounds, it makes it even, kind of like how the Biggest Loser did it. But you only get to be entered in. You can't be 150 pounds when you started and 100 pounds when you end, but you never showed up to the meetings, you didn't weigh in throughout it, and you didn't track. Because that's not fair. You didn't do the work. That makes me think you're on Ozempic, or it makes me think you're doing something you shouldn't be doing, but you're in here anyway. And that's just not how it's going to be. Sorry. So you should have weighed in last week. And if you weigh in every week consistently and you are tracking, not necessarily hitting your macros, if you don't hit them, it's okay. But I want to see that you're putting in the work and tracking your macros every day. I've had a couple of people that decided they wanted me to message with them every single day. Check my numbers. They've been in the program 4 or 5 times already. Please check my numbers. That's how I'm going to be consistent getting in my food the correct way I should be getting it in. So if you need me to do that, I am more than happy to do that. I am not going to come after you because I'm not your babysitter. You're going to come to me and say, hey, my food is ready. Can you check my log? I'm not going to say, hey, Stacy, can I check your log? Hey, Stacy, it's 4 o'clock. Can I check your log? All right, it's 5 o'clock. Can I check your log? Because that's what happens. Because I like to check everybody's food logs around 2 or 3 o'clock. But a lot of people are not done logging their stuff. So if you want me to check your logs, you need to be consistent and message me, and I will do that for you 100%. And I can guarantee you that will also help you stay successful, committed, and dedicated to the program. I'm here to be your coach. And if you're not going to use me and just think that you know what you're doing, that's great if you think you know what you're doing. But if you're not hitting the numbers, then you need more coaching. And that's what you're paying me for. Okay. Also, we are doing a step challenge. It will start on Monday, which is Memorial Day. And that is the 27th. And it will go straight through to July 12th, which is the last day of this session. I think my guilt trip worked. Posting the picture of previous Zooms. Okay, that one picture was actually one Zoom. It was just 2 pages of people. It wasn't 2 different Zooms, just so you guys know. All right, so we're doing the step challenge. I told you about the $100 prize. If you didn't hear it yet, and you just got on, you just have to watch the recording in the beginning of it. I've been trying to have workouts, but I feel like nobody is wanting to do them. So Saturday morning, 7 a.m., I am offering it up again. I need to have 2 people that commit to me. Because I'm not going to get my shit together and then there not be anybody wanting to do it. I teach spin at 9, which is why I have to do it at 7 because I got to be out of the house by like 8 to get to where I have to go. And I would do it on Sunday also. I just feel like I offer it and then nobody wants to do them. So I'm putting it out there Saturday and or Sunday. You guys have to message me and let me know which one is better for you guys or if you want to do it or not. And then the other one we're going to do is Wednesdays, how we used to do it before the meeting. But the meeting's at 7:15. I need 15 minutes to like regroup. So the workout will be 6:30 to 7 p.m. If you can only do upper body, show up and just do upper body. That's for you, Stacey. If you can only do a certain thing, then show up and do what you can do. Right? All right. So consistently Wednesdays, 6:30 p.m. workouts. Those help you guys, help you stay focused and motivated as well, just so y'all know. Okay. So I want to talk about finding balance between fitness, health, and your mental health. I have a lot of stuff I'm going to cover today. A lot of it's just like boom, 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 like tips. I have a list of how to top of my top tips of how to hit your macros. And then I have a bunch of other information, like why protein is the most important resource that you need, the most important macro that you need. I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about ways that you can try to get enough protein in. I'm going to talk about how to get your vegetables in, because I know that's a huge, huge, huge thing. And then we're going to talk about the 3 factors in being successful. Okay, so I don't know how much we're going to get covered. So we probably have to put something off till next week, but I really want to do this. So how many of you take time to plan? Honestly, 100% take time to plan. I can only, I see Margarita, I see Bonnie, and I see my sister. But I don't know how many, like, raise your hand. Are you taking the time to plan your day? Okay. Well, you guys are the successful ones. So I'm hoping that everyone actually takes the time to plan your day. If you are not, thank you, Jessica. I appreciate that. If you are, and you're successful as well, Jessica, you're doing amazing. If you're not taking the time to plan, you are going to not be successful. If you're winging it, it's not going to happen. And it's going to stress you out and make you feel overwhelmed. And there goes your mental health. And then you're like, shit, I'm not doing this. I can't do this. It's too much work. But it's not too much work. Think about, and I know we've all done this. We've waited online how long to get through that McDonald's drive-thru? Because so many people are on that line. You wasted all that time waiting on that line for whatever it was. Dunkin' Donuts, ice cream, any of the fast food places. We've all done it. That's a waste of time. Not taking the time to plan your day. So we're always going to have obstacles. And that's why when you take time to plan, those obstacles won't seem so big. Or you'll have a way of managing those obstacles because you've planned it before and now you're going to do it again. Maybe you take a lot of vacations in the summer. Plan the first one. Write down all the snacks you're going to take with you. I remember when Danielle went to New York, her first time she was in the program. We made a list and compiled stuff that she could take with her, that she can have while she's there, what she's going to have in the houses when she's at visiting people's homes. She was so successful on her first trip. She planned it out. Going forward, she knew what she had to do every time she goes away in the summer, because that's her thing in the summer. My sister comes to New York comes to Florida every summer. She makes a plan. She tells my mom, we need to go to Publix when we get there. I have my list. I'm going to get all my food together. Not, oh, I'm staying at my mom's house and I just can't get my shit together and I'm just going to figure out what they're going to eat and then I'm going to go for it. It doesn't work. Whether you're on vacation, whether you're on a work trip, whether you're going to lunch on a Saturday, if you're not planning ahead, it's not going to be successful. I hate to say it. I do it. We all do it. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just going to get the grilled chicken and the broccoli. And then I get there and I'm like, oh shit, there is no grilled chicken and broccoli. Now what? That's my go-to. I live on that. Or eggs, egg whites. I'll get egg whites wherever I go if they have it. But if they don't have it, then I didn't plan ahead. So I have to look at the menus. I have to see what's going on. Now I am very aware of it now. I wasn't always. You need to have a clear mind going into every day, right? You know what your work schedule looks like. You know what your meetings are. You know when you're going to the gym most of the time, or have a plan-ish. Should be the same thing for your food. It'll make life so much easier. Learn how to say no. That's huge, mentally huge. Margarita took it to like the major extreme and told her husband, no, we are not going out for dinner. So for like 3 years, she hasn't gone out for dinner. Right? And I told her, I'm like, you can't do that. Go out, enjoy. First of all, she's so committed, she could actually probably figure out how to get it in her day and go out and just enjoy herself. But saying no is like, you don't have to say no for 3 years, right? But if your friends every single Friday night to like come out to happy hour, have nachos, have this, have that. No, I'll go with you guys, but I'm not going to have the nachos. I'm going for the social part of it. I'm not going for the food part of it. Or, you know, at lunchtime, everybody's like, oh, this is a good example. When I was at the doctor yesterday, we were talking about I was at the doctor yesterday. I literally was at the doctor yesterday at 10 a.m. Okay. Morning. Wait, yesterday. I'm sorry. Monday morning. And they're all talking about food and what they're going to order for lunch at 10 a.m. And the one girl said, no, I brought my food. I'm being really good. I brought my rice. I brought my this, I brought my that. I don't know if she was saying, because she knew, they all know what I do for a living. But I don't know if she said it for that reason. But then the one girl was like, well, I didn't even think about it. So I'm just going to order. And she rattled off all this food they were ordering from this place. And then the other girl was like, oh yeah, I'm going to get that too. And the girl with the healthy food, I felt like she wanted to get on their bandwagon so bad. And I kind of felt like, because I was standing there, she didn't. But her reasoning for them was, I don't want to waste my money because I already brought the food. And that's okay. That took the pressure off of her, because they kept saying, no, just order with us. Just get it with us. It's Monday. You know, it's almost Memorial Day. That's what they kept saying. We're not here next Monday. We're closed. We always order on Monday. And all she had to do to shut them down was, I don't want to waste the money. She didn't have to say, I'm watching what I'm eating, or I don't want to do that. And they let her go. And she knew to say no. And so you have to learn to say no. I say no all the time. People hate me because I say no all the time. They'll come down into the studio and say, hey, do you want me to get you a Starbucks? No. And then they're like, shit, well, now I feel guilty. I don't want to get a Starbucks either. But I don't want to spend the money, for one thing, because Starbucks is so freaking expensive. And I don't want the extra calories, right? So learn how to say no. Worrying about other people's opinions is very common, but do your best to stick to your goals and prioritize what is important to you. Yes will help you stay calm. Yes will help you with your recovery. I mean, saying yes to yourself will help you say yes to your recovery. And it will help you with your balance of everything. And eventually your friends just won't push you anymore. Like my friends all know, let's see where Shannon wants to go for happy hour, or let's see where Shannon wants to go for dinner. I'm going out with friends on Saturday night, and Lauren messaged me and she's like, oh, we'll find some more fun, but they'll have stuff for everyone, which is cool. Okay. Make an effort to be positive for yourself. Do things that you like to do. If you like to go for walks outside, if you like to go to concerts, you know, if those things make you happy, you have to make sure you keep doing those, because that's, again, your mental health. Just because you're on some, you know, learning how to eat properly and you're on a new journey doesn't mean you can't do those things. And you could still go to a concert and have a Tito's with lime. You just account for it, or a glass of wine and just account for it. But you have to make a conscious effort of doing that and making yourself do those things. Otherwise, you're going to say that you're bored, you're not happy anymore, and it's all because of Shine and Shred Tribe. And I don't want that. I want everybody to be happy. I want everybody to create a priority list. What are your priorities for the summer? It could be spending time with family, going to visit family. It could be going to on a trip. It doesn't have to be sticking to the program, because when you send me your priority list, I'm going to ask you how you're going to stick to your program with those priorities. When we used to go away when we were little, like we used to go to Lake George a lot, and because I lived in New York, and the first thing we would always do is go out for dinner and then walk the strip and get ice cream. Right? That was like the thing. We couldn't wait to do it. And that's why me and my sister were overweight, and my parents were overweight. My brother was overweight too. He just happened to outgrow it, and now he fights it a little bit now, but not too much. But so think about that. Are you going away with your family? Is that something you guys do all the time? Also, do you walk a strip and get something to eat? Like, I always look for strips. You go to Clearwater, I'm like, oh, look, we can walk the strip at night. And look, there's a Haagen-Dazs. It's like automatic for me because it's such a family thing that I've always done. But if I'm going to do that, I just make sure I put it in my food that morning. Like, we're going to Jupiter Beach Resort next weekend. And we're going to this place called Blackbeard, and everybody keeps telling me, you got to get this, you got to get this, you got to try this. I already told Mike, I'm like, if we're going there, then we need to plan our day, what day we're going, and then that's how I have to work my food. And he was like, yeah, no problem. Look, his doctor told him he has to lose weight. Finally. Okay, make time for rest, make time for fun. You have the power of choice. No one else. It is in your hands. You can live life to the fullest and still be on this journey. If you want it bad enough, you will find time to pull out resistance bands and do a 10 to 15, 20, 30-minute workout on your own. I don't tell anyone you have to get in your car and go drive to a gym. Not one person do I tell. I ask, you have stairs in your house? Walk them down your stairs. Do you have a one-story? Walk laps around the inside of your house. Maybe go to the mall, go for a walk. But I will never tell anyone to go to the gym. What I will tell you is, if you're not active, you're not going to be as successful as you could be. And if you're not doing any kind of strength training, it's going to take that much longer. And I'm offering 3 free workouts. Do you know people pay to work out with me on a private basis? It's not free. So just keep that in mind. So you getting that on Zoom, like, and Jackie will tell you, I train her on Zoom for like 20 minutes. She pays me $35 twice a week. And you guys are getting it for free. She will too, obviously. She'll get that in addition, but okay. Remember, the food you eat directly impacts your workouts, your body composition, and your mental state. So if you choose to have whole foods, then your mental health will be good and your overall wellness and body health will be good. But it all comes down to this, right? You join this and you've stayed in it and committed to this because of this. Because it's so easy to just be like, you know what, screw it. But not one of you have done that. And everybody that's in here has been in the program. You might have walked away, but you always come back. Everybody comes back. I say that about Orange Theory also. Everybody leaves, everybody comes back. Some people come back because they want to just stay focused and committed and they don't want to fall off, and they realize that that could happen. And then I have people that just stay in it just indefinitely because they like the support and stuff. Okay. So I'm going to move on. And I'm going to go to my phone because I have my notes in my phone for stuff. So if you are struggling to get in your carbs and your fats, which is not very many people that do that, I want you to focus only on one thing, and that's protein. If you hit your proteins every single day within 5 to 10, not going over 5 to 10, staying on it or under 5 to 10, and you still don't hit your carbs and fats, not going over those, but not hitting them 100%, you will still drop body fat. So we're all going to commit, if you're having a hard time getting all your macros, to hitting your proteins. Everybody put your hand up. Even if I can't see you, your hand better be up. I'm committing to hitting my macros, not going over ever, or my proteins, not going over ever, but I could be under a little bit. I could be right on. You can be over, but I'm not asking you to do that. Everybody got that? Thank you, Nicole, for putting the little hand up. Okay. If you do that, wow, this meeting went so fast. If you do that, then you will hit your macros. It'll fall in line, but you can't go over. Thank you, Danielle, for giving me that thumbs up. I appreciate it. Okay, so I'm not looking up, so don't give me thumbs up anymore because I can't see them and I don't want you to think I'm ignoring you for not giving you a shout out. Protein has the highest thermic effect of food, which means it uses energy the most. It is what gives you your energy, believe it or not. Everybody's like, oh, it's my carbs. It's your proteins. Protein supports lean muscle retention. So if you get all your protein in, you won't lose that muscle. That's huge. It promotes muscle growth when you're trying to get stronger. And yes, you can do both at the same time. I do it all the time. It's definitely doable. Protein is made up of amino acids, which you use for building muscle in the gym and then using it to repair your muscles after and when you're recovering at home. So protein keeps your body healthy, strong, and in a constant state of repair and renewal so you can bounce back from any physical challenges you may have. A lot of times people are short on their proteins, but they also are tearing ligaments, hurting their muscles, they have a strain because they're not getting in all their proteins. But I promise you, if you get in all your proteins and you are consistent with it, I'm not talking about Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, or Monday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm talking about 7 days a week, getting in your protein, not going over your carbs or fats, you will still see that scale move. Okay, next thing. It doesn't have to necessarily be meat. It could be your dairy that you're getting your proteins in, but you got to watch that though, because you got your fats. But a couple of vegetables, I feel like now I'm racing against the clock. A couple of vegetables that have protein: broccoli, mushrooms, corn, spinach, kale, Brussels sprouts, my favorite, arugula, asparagus, cauliflower, beets, greens, and green beans. I will put this list in the protein meeting group, whatever that is we have in there. Here are tips of how you're going to get protein in. Always have something in the house that is strictly only protein. And I'm sure you guys can all call these off. Number 1, egg whites. Number 2, whey protein powder. Number 3, tuna. I know, Margarita, but one of those things you can do. You don't have to have them all, but just one of those. Okay. If you find that you are having a hard time getting in your protein, you need to make sure that 1/3 of the protein, you have it before the middle of the day. I don't want to say breakfast because they do say breakfast, but I don't eat breakfast. My first meal is not till usually 11 o'clock, but that is when I get in a lot of my protein. I literally sit at Orange Theory and just keep eating. And this girl, Chloe, is in a cut. And she's like, you're killing me with all this food you're eating. I'm like, I have to. You just did it yourself. You were just, she did a reversal. Now she's in a cut. If your target seems overwhelming, take the number and divide it out. Maybe you can have 4 meals through the day, 3 meals through the day, and you need to make sure you're getting those proteins in that divided amount of time that you picked. If you are low on protein, you can add egg whites to pretty much anything. Believe it or not, if you put it in your protein shake, you won't taste it. With the protein powder, with the ice, with the water, whatever you put in it, you won't taste your egg whites. You've seen people drink egg whites, right? You've seen them on TV. I mean, people actually do drink eggs. There's an egg protein powder. Have you seen that? Okay. They sell it, I think it's powder, but they sell it at like GNC or the nutrition place or whatever. You can also get your protein in broth. So Mike made soup the other day, shocked the hell out of me. I was at Orange Theory and he's like, oh, I made a soup. And I was like, oh, what did you make? And he's like, oh, there's broccoli and it was so good. There was broccoli, there was ground turkey. I don't know, it was a soup. And I was like, oh, did you at least use low sodium chicken broth? And he's like, you'll see when you get home. And he used bone broth. And I was shocked because he said, I know you're not going to get enough protein in the meat, that amount of meat that's in the soup. So I figured it would help if you had bone broth versus chicken broth. Because chicken broth is not bone broth. You know that, right? You have to find chicken bone broth if you want chicken bone broth. But the broth you find in the store that comes in like the milk containers, it looks like, that's just water, like chicken broth. So you can do that. You can put protein powder in a lot of things. Yogurts, cottage cheese, oatmeal. It tastes good, I promise. So if you're having a hard time, those are some options. Okay, really quick. If you're having a hard time getting in your vegetables, eat vegetables at least 2 of your meals. You need to get the fiber in, otherwise you're going to get stopped up. You don't want to get stopped up. Add vegetables to your snacks. Cut up cucumbers. If you like raw broccoli, which I hate, but if you like it, cut it up, bring it with you to work. You can take plain Greek yogurt and get the Lipton seasoning for dip and make it with the Greek yogurt. So then you have protein in your Greek yogurt. You are getting really, the dip is just powder that you're mixing in with it. And then you are getting your protein with your vegetables, which is your broccoli. There's always ways to do that. Cut up peppers, do the same thing with that Greek yogurt. Do that for Memorial Day. If you're bringing something somewhere, use Greek yogurt, don't use sour cream. Devotion powder makes savory flavors, like butter and garlic something. Like their protein flavors they have savory and sweet. And they sell them in pouches, just so you guys know. I don't get a kickback from Devotion or anything. But I brought the pouches with me when we went away to Europe. It was very convenient. Okay, really quick. I have less than 3 minutes. So I'm going to touch on it, but we're going to talk about it more next meeting. Consistency, flexibility, and sustainability. Those are the 3 things you need to remember every single day. You need to be consistent. You can definitely be flexible with your eating, and that's what's going to help you sustain the changes that you're making. When you are what consistency is sticking to something that you commit to. And being at these meetings every Wednesday is consistency, right? I felt totally out of whack not coming to the meeting last Wednesday. Like I just felt it was just really, besides the fact that I had to be at Orange Theory from 4 a.m. till 8 p.m, I still was just like, it just didn't feel, I was out of sorts 100%. Okay, so that's consistency. Flexibility is the ability to manipulate your day, your diet, and I hate using that word, but to fit your specific goals and needs for the circumstances. You do not have to have the same thing every day. You can be flexible. You can go out for lunch and forego something else throughout the day that you normally would have had to be flexible enough to go to lunch with your friends or to go to dinner at night or to have that glass of wine that you want to have. That is the best part of macros coaching nutrition. It's not a diet, it's flexible. And we're going to get more into that. And then the last thing is your sustainability. And obviously, going on a family vacation, you're not going to gain weight because you are doing the consistency, you're doing the flexibility, and now you're going to sustain all those things that you have just incorporated for those 2 things to be sustaining what you've already been doing. I get messages all the time. I was on a vacation. I can't believe I came back and I actually lost weight. We walked every day and we didn't overindulge. And, we may have ordered appetizer, but we only ordered one instead of one each. That's huge, huge, huge. You're not always going to be balanced with consistency, flexibility, and sustainability, and that is okay. And the next meeting, we're going to talk about what if you're 80-20 consistency and flexibility, or what if you're 20-80 consistency, flexibility? How's that going to look to sustain that? And it's totally doable. I would say I'm more consistent than I am more flexible. I'm very consistent with tracking, but I'm not very flexible.